Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
The News at Noon program assembles the best and most interesting news from the area, offers intriguing content for its viewers, and provides local weather for the Four Corners region. What do you think? Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling right here and Jerry Tope with the weather details later on in the broadcast. Here's what's happening for June 29th, 2016. The Cortez Journal reports that Republican voters in Montezuma County on Tuesday gave U.S. Representative Scott Tipton a resounding victory over surprise challenger Alexander Beinstein, 1,778 votes to 653. According to unofficial results, 3,450 votes were cast in Tuesday's primary election. Tipton, who won 73.14% of votes, will face Democrat Gail Schwartz, who won the Democratic primary for the 3rd Congressional District unchallenged with 922 votes. In the Republican race for U.S. Senator Darrell Glenn won with 716 votes, or 32.22% of the votes. He was followed by Jack Graham with 491 votes, and Glenn will face incumbent Democratic Senator Michael Bennet, who won his primary unchallenged with 949 votes. Rounding out the Republican primary for Senator were John Kaiser with 422, Ryan Frazier 307, and Robert Blaha with 286. There were 16 write-in votes. Republican State Representative Don Coram won re-election unchallenged in District 58 with 1,838 votes. He won't face a challenger. Incumbent State Board of Education member Joyce Rankin defeated Anita Stapleton 934 to 917 in the Republican race in the 3rd Congressional District. Winning 50.46% of the vote, she'll face Democrat Christine Pacheco-Kovaleski, who was unchallenged with 896 votes. Republican Heidi Gennady will face Democrat Alice Madden. They both ran unchallenged in their primaries. Gennady won 1,625 votes and Madden won 890. District Attorney Will First won the Republican primary for the 22nd Judicial District unchallenged with 724 votes. He doesn't face a Democratic challenger.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a gunman walked into a busy downtown Denver office building and shot a person multiple times before turning the gun on himself, police said Tuesday. The gunman was found dead when SWAT officers arrived, police spokesman Doug Shepman said. The female victim was critically injured and was undergoing surgery at a nearby hospital. Shepman said the gunman targeted the victim, and detectives are trying to determine the connection between the two. Police have not released any names. Officers went floor by floor to clear the Alliance Center, a building that houses several environmental organizations and provides shared workspaces. Other buildings were locked down and people were asked to stay away from the area. Office workers in the Alliance Center streamed out of a doorway with their hands in the air as armed officers secured the scene. The Alliance Center is steps away from the 16th Street pedestrian mall in the trendy Lodo neighborhood near a major transit hub and about 4 blocks from Coors Field.
The Cortez Journal reports a woman stole a car from the Cortez Safeway parking lot last Saturday and crashed it in the front yard. This according to Cortez Police Chief Roy Lane. Samantha Gates Morris, 19 of Toyoak, stole a 2009 Chevy Trailblazer out of the Safeway parking lot just after 10 a.m. Saturday, Lane said. The keys were in the car, he said, and Morris didn't say why she took it. Police followed Morris, who was reportedly driving erratically for about 30 minutes before she crashed through an iron fence and came to a stop in a front yard at 3rd and Maple Streets. The car was released to the owners with minimal damage. She was arrested after abandoning the Trailblazer in the front yard and trying to kick her way through a wood fence in the backyard. A storage shed at the Seekys Village Mobile Home Park on South Broadway also was damaged. Morris was being held in Montezuma County Jail as of June 27th on charges of driving under the influence, vehicular eluding, reckless driving, theft, abusing toxic vapors, reckless endangerment, and aggravated motor theft.
According to the Durango Herald, undercover audio and video recordings were played Tuesday in 6th Judicial District Court as part of a preliminary hearing for Timur Uranov, 30, who was arrested April 26th. Uranov is charged with attempted patronizing a child prostitute and soliciting for child prostitution. The sex sting was conducted April 25th through 27th in Durango. Up to 35 people worked the operation, including law enforcement from the Durango Police Department and La Plata County Sheriff's Office. The sting netted 7 arrests. Text messages exchanged between Uranov and undercover agents indicated Uranov responded to a personal ad posted on Backpage.com. The ad indicates it is a 19-year-old woman, but once Uranov responded, he was propositioned to have sex with 1 or 2 girls ages 11 and 14. At first, Uranov declined, saying he is 30 years old and that is too young. But he then agrees to pay $125 for an hour of sex with the 14-year-old, according to testimony. Believing he is talking to the girl's mom, Uranov agreed to go to the Albertsons for an initial meeting before driving a short distance to Durango Lodge, where he would exchange money and have sex with a minor. Video and audio surveillance taken by law enforcement at the Durango Lodge parking lot show Uranov paying $140 and expressing nervousness about having sex with an underage girl. He paid $15 more than the agreed upon price, apparently as a tip or because he thought the mother needed the extra money, according to testimony. Uranov, who arrived with condoms, then followed the woman toward the hotel and was arrested in the parking lot. His Durango defense attorneys David Greenberg and Ingrid Alt argued that Uranov responded to a personal ad purportedly posted by someone of legal age. Uranov's first language is Russian, and at first he asked for an older girl, but a language barrier prevented law enforcement from understanding him and Uranov from understanding them, Alt said. Russian interpreters participated in Tuesday's preliminary hearing. District Judge Suzanne Carlson seemed to agree, allowing the prosecution to move forward with its charges. Carlson also agreed to reduce Uranov's bail from $100,000 to $50,000. If he makes bail, he must surrender his passport, submit to GPS monitoring, and can't be around children.
From the Cortez Journal, even though recycling is on the rise regionally, consumers in southwest Colorado are still sending more trash to landfills than they were in 2007. WCA Waste, which operates the Bondad landfill, has reported a 7% increase in materials from 243,000 of cubic yards of garbage in 2007 to over 260,000 in 2015, according to a Southwest Colorado Index report. On average, each person in La Plata, Montezuma, Dolores, San Juan, and Archuleta counties are producing 5.9 pounds of trash a day, which is a bit higher than the national average of 4.4 pounds per day. However, recycling programs in both Durango and Cortez have seen a boost in participation. The Durango Recycling Center diverted 19 million pounds in 2015, up from 7 million pounds in 2006. In addition to serving Durango and La Plata County, the center takes material from private companies in Montezuma and Archuleta counties. The city of Durango's single-stream collection has helped keep more material out of the landfill. Cortez has also improved collection, diverting 687 plus pounds in 2006 and 855,000 pounds in 2015. Last year was also the start of plastic recycling in Cortez. These facilities have increased their collections even though revenues from the sales of plastics, metals, and other recyclables have fallen sharply. Jury Freeman, the president of the Colorado Association for Recycling, said that these declines and a volatile market has been making it hard for haulers to budget, but it may be positive in the long term. While these facilities are collecting more materials, the region as a whole is only diverting 14% of the materials that could be recycled. Organic materials make up a large portion of what is hauled to the landfills nationwide and locally. Nationally, about 29% of the waste in the landfills is made up of organics such as paper and cardboard, and another 27% consists of yard trimmings and food scraps. In Durango, about 20% of the residential waste is food, according to an audit by the Southwest Colorado Council of Governments. Once the food reaches landfills, it contributes heavily to methane emissions. But composting typically doesn't produce any revenue for the municipalities that provide the service. David Golden recently launched Table to Farm Compost in Durango, and his business could potentially divert materials from about 400 households at one time, or about 100 1,500 cubic yards of material, but Golden expects it may take time to attract that many customers.
The Durango Herald reported the Durango City Council decided Tuesday fluoride will remain in the city's drinking water. Public health arguments that fluoridated water helps protect those with limited access to dental care seemed to sway councilors. It's a matter of social responsibility, said Councilor Dean Brookie. The question deadlocked the city's Utilities Commission so that advisory board did not have a united position to present, but the commission's chairman, John Ballou, and San Juan Basin Health Department Executive Director Leanne Jolan both spoke in favor of fluoride. We would strongly recommend continuing this practice, Jolan said. The Utilities Commission has been exploring fluoridation in drinking water since fall. The board heard presentations from residents who want to see fluoridation ended and from health officials who tout widespread fluoridation as a public health victory. In the end, Ballou could not find evidence in peer-reviewed studies that the low levels of fluoride in drinking water cause harm. John Rothschild, a dentist, came to hear the council's discussion. He filters out the fluoride from his home water and his clinic because of the potential side effects of fluoride, especially on the thyroid. When it comes to tooth decay, sugar is far more important, he said.
Today we'll see afternoon clouds and a scattering of shower and thunderstorm activity between 3 and 4 p.m. We may see a few hundredths of an inch to put speckles on the windshields. Once again, today's best locations will be in the mountains and higher elevations. Today will be about the same as yesterday, then Thursday and Friday, and Saturday will increase in activity. Beginning early in the afternoon Thursday and continuing through sometime Saturday, shower and thunderstorm activity will be more or less continuous. More specific forecasts say tomorrow from about 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. we may have a little gap in the clouds, then about 54 hours of pretty steady cloud coverage. The most optimistic rainfall forecast says 1/10 Thursday, 1/3 of an inch Friday, and 1/4 of an inch on Saturday. NOAA is saying that clouds will form up over the mountains and then push out over the adjacent valleys. Long-range forecasts for early next week to begin another round of drying and warming for the next week. It's early to say exactly, but for Monday the 4th, the forecast indicates a high of 90 degrees and only very minor activity in the afternoon ending around 4 p.m. Then pretty well clear till 10 p.m. and some late clouds, but unlikely to affect the fireworks. Most widespread showers and storms are forecast for northern New Hampshire and Maine. Amounts exceeding 1 inch are possible. The system will move north into Quebec late this evening, pushing offshore, ending precipitation across the New England area. The trailing end of this frontal boundary will bring scattered showers and thunderstorms to southeastern U.S. and Gulf Coast areas today, with locally heavy rain possible. This front will linger across the southwest tomorrow, keeping showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Showers and thunderstorms are also forecast today and Thursday for much of the plains. Some thunderstorms may be severe today across portions of the central and northern high plains. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms, and locally heavy rain will also be possible. On Thursday, another cold front will move into the northern plains and upper Midwest, causing showers and thunderstorms from there to the upper Great Lakes. This will be followed by a drier air mass moving into the Midwest in its wake. Monsoonal moisture will result in scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Four Corners and eastern Great Basin today and into Saturday. Showers and thunderstorms in this area will be focused more heavily in the higher areas of terrain. In our 5-day forecast for tomorrow, the clouds are supposed to be late in the day, giving a high of 90. Then Friday to Sunday, we'll start the low 80s and climb back up to the 90 mark for the 4th. Lots of clouds, gusty conditions, and various storms moving through. Lightning also, but no predictions of hail at this time. Lows will be in the upper 50s tonight and tomorrow, then the low 50s for the rest of the 5-day forecast. Temperatures at fireworks time should be mild, but are dependent on the clouds on their way in just around 10. So, as per usual, a light jacket may be needed for the padding challenged person. Now back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, an annual Colorado College project focusing on issues affecting the Rocky Mountain West is turning its spotlight on the governance of Western water, including the Animas River. On Monday morning, several student, researchers, and staff with the State of the Rockies project took a flight from Durango to survey from above the Gladstone area and Gold King mine just north of Silverton. The aircraft dipped sideways towards a lush green mountain slope, revealing a view of the mine where 3 million gallons of acid mine drainage gushed last August into Cement Creek and then the Animas and San Juan rivers after an Environmental Protection Agency crew breached the portal. The pilot, Gary Kraft, routinely takes students, native tribes, environmentalists, and other groups up to get a bird's-eye view of environmental issues through EcoFlight, a program that uses small aircraft to advocate for protecting wildlands and habitat. Michael Gorman, EcoFlight program coordinator, said the flights are advantageous to learning about mine drainage issues in the highly mineralized Silverton caldera. Below the Gold King, passengers could see another pock in the mountainside, a temporary treatment facility catching drainage from the mine. The group will meet this week with officials to learn about the Animas La Plata project and the U.S. Forest Service plans for managing the Hermosa Creek area, and will attend an Animas River stakeholders group meeting.
From the Grand Junction Sentinel, U.S. Representative Scott Tipton is proposing releasing 3 areas in Mesa, Delta, and Jackson counties from further consideration for designation as wilderness areas, an action he says would get them out of land management limbo. Tipton's Western Colorado Wilderness Study Area Release Act, or H.R. 5570, would apply to the North Sands Hills Instant Study Area in Jackson County, the Dominguez Canyon Wilderness Study Area in Mesa and Delta counties, and the Black Ridge Canyons Wilderness Study Area in Mesa County. The BLM currently must manage the lands for their wilderness characteristics until Congress designates them as wilderness or releases them from further consideration. Tipton's spokeswoman, Liz Payne, said that in all of the cases, the BLM has recommended the areas not be wilderness. The county commissions in all 3 counties support the bill. The BLM describes instant study areas as a specific kind of wilderness study area. The North Sands Hills was designated a research natural area in 1965, and the 1976 Federal Land Policy and Management Act required the BLM to designate lands previously identified formally as natural or primitive as instant study areas. The BLM in 1980 concluded the North Sand Hills didn't meet wilderness criteria, but Congress has never released it from ISA status. Tipton's office credited the BLM and affected counties for their involvement in a cooperative process that produced a non-controversial bill.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the U.S. Forest Service has put the final touches on a project that effectively restores an almost 20-acre wetland in Falls Creek, adding a rich biodiverse area to the lush green valley northwest of Durango. In the 1990s, it was discovered that the land in Falls Creek at the north end of County Road 205 was for sale. Rumors circulated that the owner at the time, Utah Power and Light, a subsidiary of Pacificor Utility Company, was in talks with developers that were interested in constructing several hundred homes in the tucked-away valley. Fearing the archaeologically rich area would be developed, a grassroots movement lobbied for almost 2 years to save the open meadow surrounded by white sandstone cliffs and ponderosa forests. In 1992, Congress allocated about $1.9 million from the Land and Water Conservation Fund, securing the 53-acre tract from development. On March 31st of that year, the area, also known as Hidden Valley, was officially turned over to the Forest Service. As part of the deal, the Forest Service received long-held water rights from Falls Creek. To retain water rights in the state of Colorado, an entity must prove the water is going to beneficial use every 10 years, or they run the risk of losing the allocation. Rob Genualdi, an engineer with the Colorado Division of Water Resources Division 7, said water courts officially recognize the creation of wetlands from water rights as a beneficial use, although it's generally a rare occurrence an owner would choose to do so. Yet for the Forest Service's Columbine District, the determination to use about 420 gallons a minute from Falls Creek was an easy, logical decision. Wetlands would not only enrich the ecosystem with minimal effort, it would preserve the popular hiking area, follow the wishes of adjacent neighbors, and be flexible to other water users of the creek.
Last Saturday was the 7th annual Pick and Hoe Poker Run. This year, bikes and vehicles were invited. It started at the Dove Creek Sinclair and ended at State Line. Dove Creek's Pick and Hoe special event presents the 7th annual Poker Run, June 25th, 2016. Great fun and great prizes. Starting at the Dove Creek Sinclair early Saturday. Lily hasn't missed an event and really enjoys the back seat. Carol Marie Howell is the chairman of the Pick and Hoe.
And then I made these draw cards. I don't know if you've gone on poker runs. I invented this. I hope it doesn't bite me in the rear. You know, but you'll keep these with you at all day. You'll write your name on them, and then here in a minute we'll make our first draw.
They're ready to roll. Sign up enters you in a chance to win prizes drawn at the end. At each stop, playing cards are drawn. At the finish, the top 2 hands split a cash prize. The ride runs up Dolores to Rico, where the first stop back in Dolores County is at the Mountaintop Fuel Station. Time to stretch your legs and draw a card. On up to Telluride, one of the bikes broke down and was back on the route in a chase truck trailer, brought along just for such a situation. Placerville Park was the catered lunch stop and another card draw. Then on to Norwood and the 4th card draw. Out through Disappointment Valley to the finish at the state line. This is Kendra Cook, reporting from Dove Creek, Colorado. Everyone had a great time and got home safely. We'll hope for even more rat rods, and anyone who'd like to go for a ride next year better check in with Carol Marie.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of June 20th through the 26th. A vehicle unlock in town was successful. A resident reported a telephone scam. A resident camping at Bradfield Bridge reported illegal drug use, camping, dumping of trash, including drug paraphernalia, and a fire left unattended. BLM was contacted and a Dolores County deputy collected evidence for investigation. A deputy performed a civil standby in town. That's it for this week's Roundup. Stay tuned next week for more updates.
And in today's high country happenings, we look to the west over in Utah to see what's happening for their 4th of July celebration lineup, as reported in the San Juan Record. Blanding gears up with thousands expected to converge for a day of patriotic celebration that will stretch a few days in both directions, from the main celebration on the 4th. A full schedule of official events, in addition to other events throughout the celebration, can be found in the San Juan Record. The Independence Day Parade, under the theme of What's Right with America, makes its way down Main Street beginning at 10:30 a.m. on the 4th. The Grand Marshal for the parade is Clayton Long. Other highlights of the parade include a host of floats and other entities, including the 4th annual Jason Workman Memorial Ride. Dozens of motorcycles crowd the parade route in honor of Workman, a Blanding native who was a member of SEAL Team 6. He was killed in action in Afghanistan in August of 2011. On July 5th, the bridge crossing the San Juan River at Mexican Hat will officially be renamed the Jason Workman Memorial Bridge. A ride will leave Blanding at 9 a.m. on Tuesday to attend the event. It is the first bridge in Utah to be named to honor a fallen soldier. Friday, July 1st, the annual Shane Warnski Memorial Midnight Madness softball tournament starts at 5:30 p.m. and continues play through the entire night. The San Juan High School football team will hold a fundraising dinner at the event. A full series of events are planned for Saturday, July 2nd, highlighted by a concert from legendary singer Stan Bronson. Bronson's wildly popular album, Down from the Mountain, was released 50 years ago. The concert, which begins at 7 p.m. at the San Juan High School auditorium, will feature music from the album and Bronson's other releases. Sporting events on Saturday include a paintball tournament, 7-on-7 football tournament, and a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. The Blanding Rotary Club will sponsor a car show, Navajo taco dinner, and chili cook-off at the Blanding Central Park. The car show begins at 2, the chili cook-off at 3, and the dinner at 4. Early on Monday, July 4th at 6:30 a.m., a 5K race begins at Centennial Park. The annual Mayor's Breakfast starts soon afterward and will feature a speech by San Juan County Commissioner Rebecca Ben-Ali. The breakfast also includes food, music, and words from Mayor Calvin Balk and Lou Mueller. The fun continues with co-ed volleyball, horseshoes, kids games, swimming races, horse games, and more, with events stretching throughout the afternoon. Food booths and other vendors will offer their services as well throughout the day, primarily from Centennial Park and in the Blanding Wellness Center. Arts and crafts are available at the Wellness Center, including the annual quilt show. The evening will include a free concert by Sean Cannon and the Pops Orchestra from 7 until 10 p.m. The fireworks show is at 10 p.m. and is computer choreographed, sponsored by Dr. Joe Wilson. All of the Happenings segment is posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays and the exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast graphic. If you have an event, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119, and we'll be sure to get it on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
Share this with a friend and watch the broadcast replayed on YouTube and now featured on our Facebook page. Please like us there and spread the word. We'll be off on Monday for the 4th holiday, but back on Tuesday, the 5th, with News at Noon.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. We'll see you next time.